But what we did do was we asked our past guests to rejoin us and share advice that they would give. So throughout this episode, you're going to hear from them. Either, yeah, they wrote things in, they left an audio message, or they actually recorded a video. So throughout this episode, you're going to see some familiar faces come back into the conversation. But one of the questions we asked them was, what do you wish you knew in your career that you know now? And not surprisingly, we saw themes come through, right? So we saw things around your career does not define you. It's a journey. So just sort of go along with the flow. You never know what's ahead of you. Celebrate the milestones when you have them. And then one of the other things, which I know we've talked about on this podcast before, is around how personal values need to align with company values. And if they don't, that might be why you're feeling a little stuck. In addition to those, there were two themes that came through that really hit for Dan and I that we wanted to kind of go deeper on and share some more thoughts on. So one is around nobody has all the answers. Everyone's an imposter. Everybody's just trying to figure shit out as they go.
Mhm.
And Dan, that one resonated for you. Would you like to share more about your thoughts on
Yeah, I
that?
mean, imposter syndrome is just a theme or a thread that I've either personally felt or colleagues have talked to me about, or friends that have gotten new positions at companies, and everybody just feels like everybody's always a little behind the eight ball in whatever role that they're in, and they feel like they're sort of faking it before they make it, and it's just kind of par for the course. I mean, even being internal and hiring people or promoting people, you're always about 75% there. Maybe you have a better number than that, but there's always a stretch to it. And that's okay. And everybody's feeling it the same way in some capacity in their role. Is they're really good at these things because that was sort of the core of their previous role, but now they're stretching into something new. And they feel apprehensive about calling themselves an expert or acting in an expert way in some of those capacities, but it's very normal. It's the admission for the ride, as far as like sort of growing through your career. And it's good to really be stretching into new things, and don't beat yourself up about it, because
Yeah.
I think the biggest learning lesson is just everybody's going through it at all levels, from leaders to people that are junior in their career. And it's really just something that it's more of the growing phase, and be comfortable with it, embrace it, is I think probably one of the biggest things I've learned, and why that's I've just heard it from so many different people,
Yeah.
surprising conversations too, of people that I wouldn't expect, and you're like, oh, that person's got their shit together, but they're feeling it too in some capacity. And it's all across the board. And I would just say lean into it, embrace it, and it's part of the game.
Yeah. No, it really is. I mean, I have both felt it in the sense of like, why am I in this room? Am I really
Mhm.
allowed to be here? To, oh, I literally don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And we're just gonna wing it and see what happens. I mean, to be honest, that's how this podcast started. I didn't
Uh-huh.
know what I was doing. I literally Googled, like, can I record in Zoom? I have Apple. Do I use GarageBand? Like, who knows like what I was doing and which microphone should I use? So it's okay to not know what you're doing. It's about taking that leap and learning and figuring it out along the way and being okay and saying, I don't know. So, one of our guests that shared this point really shared that it's also okay just to ask, like, ask around, you're a really smart person. What do you think about this? Or, you might have gone through this. What do you think? I was talking to a new manager yesterday, and he's been in the role for about a year. And he said, I think maybe I'm starting to sort of get to this place that I'm a good manager. And he's like, but that's maybe giving me a lot of credit. And I'm like, yeah, you've only been doing it for a year. A
Mm.
lot of being a manager is pattern recognition, or I've seen this before, so I might know what to do in this moment. And that takes years to build. I get into conversations that take a left turn that I was not expecting. And I've been doing this a lot longer than a year. So
Yeah.
everybody's trying to figure it out, to your point.